Welcome to this week's edition of Bad Hair Day with your hosts Brianna and Jamie. Today, of course, we're going to be talking about the Kardashians, because when do we not talk about the Kardashians? But we're also going to be talking about Jennifer Lawrence, Chrissy Teigen's special announcement, the AMA nominations, and Whoopi Goldberg's most recent comments. So, Jamie, why don't you go first?
Okay, hello. We're starting off with Lamar Odom, and this is actually very depressing news because on Tuesday he was found unconscious in a Nevada brothel. He took herbal Viagra as well as drugs like cocaine, which were found in his system, and this caused his organs to fail. He suffered an ischemic stroke. I don't know, but from lack of oxygen to his brain, and he's likely to have brain damage, although they don't know how much brain damage yet. He's still in a coma, currently on a ventilator. And Khloe Kardashian and Lamar's divorce was never finalized, even though they signed the paperwork. So she still has to make all of the medical decisions. And Kim canceled her baby shower, and Kylie stopped the live online stream when she heard of the news. Caitlyn and Robert Kardashian have both been seen at the hospital. Kanye is taking care of North and Courtney's kids while the family deals with the situation. So this is, the whole family's coming together to go see Lamar because I feel like they all love him because he was with Courtney Khloe,
Chloe.
excuse me, for so long. And Khloe still loves him, even though they're not together. She's still there, and she's really upset, sad about this. And yeah, that's what's been going on recently.
I think also, if I recall correctly, Courtney actually paid for Lamar's children, his father, and the mother of his children to be flown,
Flown.
for them to fly out to Nevada to see him in the hospital. And it's kind of messed up because now that they're there, they're threatening to sue Chloe because they're basically saying, you're not married to Lamar anymore. You shouldn't have the right to make any of the decisions.
Yeah.
But I think it might also have to do with the fact that if, something really serious happens to Lamar, like if he does pass away from this, because we really don't know what's going to happen, he's in a coma. So if he does end up passing away from this, Chloe would get everything.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is just that his family does not want her to get anything. I don't think it's any sort of I care about him. I don't want you to make the decision. I'd rather make it myself kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like Courtney wouldn't take everything, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't need his money anyway.
I'm pretty sure she has more money than him at this point.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I also feel like she, at least from what we have been able to see, she was a very good stepmother, I guess, to his children. And she helped to take care of them, and she did love them and care about them. So I don't understand why they would be treating her this way right now.
Yeah, and it's really sad. Like I mentioned this to you earlier, that it's so sad when somebody who is rich gets sick and they're on the verge of, they're almost dying, and all their family can argue about is who's going to get the money when that person dies. They don't care about, oh my gosh, my relative is so sick, my relative might die. All they care about is, no, you're not getting his money. I'm getting his money.
And it's
And it's so
disgusting.
disgusting. It's so depressing because, I mean, I don't think Chloe's not fighting over the money. She really cares
No.
about Lamar, and his family is there. Just, I don't want you to get my dad's money. Seriously? I mean, could you have worse timing?
I don't think
Just
Chloe has even mentioned. I don't think the money was mentioned until his family came into town.
yeah, she wasn't
I'm
thinking
pretty
about
sure
the
she
money
didn't say or do
when she
anything
heard that
about it.
Lamar was in a coma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to.
Moving on, since we were just recently talking about Kourtney Kardashian and the fact that Kanye is taking care of her children, um, as we all know, I'm trying to think of a way to say this that's nice. As we all know, Scott Disick, Kourtney's husband, and the father of her three children, has been struggling with drugs and alcohol for years. He's been abusing everything he can get his hands on. And he is going to rehab for the fourth time, which is a bit much. But he claims that he wants to be the best that he can possibly be, and he apparently realized that it's finally time to make a change and move on from this really dark path and period of his life. But I also feel like it's because him and Kourtney broke up in this July after he secretly went to Monte Carlo for an entire month. And because of that, because of his drug and alcohol abuse, Kourtney is actually filing and attempting to get full primary custody of their children, which means he won't even have visitation rights at all. because right now he's been having supervised visits. So I feel like part of this rehab attempt is to kind of prove to her that he should be able to see his kids and that he is trying to make a change and maybe even trying to get her back. Because I know it was rumored for a while that he had this girlfriend who was like 18 or 19 years old, but I feel like they've been to Courtney and Scott have been together for I think almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's kind of hard to let go of being with someone for 10 years. Especially Scott, I feel like other than Courtney and her family, Scott really doesn't have anyone else.
Yeah.
And even in one of the episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, he says, I went from having this big family that loved and cared about me to having no one. So I feel like a lot of it is probably him just trying to kind of put himself back where he used to be and get back into this family that he misses so much.
I mean, I do think that it's sad that the fact that he has no one besides the Kardashians and now he can't even see them because of the way he messed up. But at the same time, he's attempted to get help 3 other times and they've all failed. He keeps going in this cycle of, okay, I'm using drugs, I'm doing all of this, and then going to spoil Courtney and be amazing, and then going back to drugs again, back to being completely reckless. And it's kind of an abusive relationship, like you said before.
Yeah.
With Courtney, because she is suffering so much from this person. He keeps hurting her and the kids. And why would you want to have your kids around someone like that? Someone who has this huge drug and alcohol problem. I mean, he needs help and I feel bad for him, but at the same time, you don't want your kids around that because if they grow up in an environment like that, they're more likely to have drug and alcohol problems when they grow up. And you don't want that. She's just going to keep suffering over her kids again. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't get back together because I honestly think that Scott doesn't deserve to be with Courtney anymore and she can do so much better.
I feel like she can do so much better, but I feel like if he wants to go back and if he does redeem himself in a way, I feel like she would most likely take him back.
Yeah, she would.
Because at the end of the day, when he was in doing good and when he was being a good husband and doing everything right, he was doing everything perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
He was this loving and devoted husband. He was an amazing father. He was great with her family and with her friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like she would want to have that Scott back. She just doesn't want the Scott that disappears for months and months at a time.
Yeah, and she wants him to stay the good Scott that she wants,
Exactly.
not go back to his old ways. I don't know, it's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation, but I think we also need to remember, I mean, one of our close friends earlier was even telling us that Courtney kind of seems heartless, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I feel like at the end of the day, you need to do what's going to be best for you and your children.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you kind of have to leave your emotions out of it no matter how much it hurts you. And
Yeah.
you don't want your kids to be around someone who you never really know what's going to happen and you never really know when or if they're going to be there.
Yeah, especially, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We can get back
Anyway,
to
we're
it.
going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Jennifer Lawrence and Chrissy Teigen.
Tegan.
Teigen, I'm sorry. It's one of those days.